Shalom, shalom. Wait for people to come in. It's only going to be a short live today because I had some things on my spirit that I wanted to talk about. Like I said, we're coming into the last days. The kingdom is nigh. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's time for us to prepare, get ourselves ready, make sure anything we're taking in, especially spiritually about the word of the Most High, that we understand what it is and how it's going to benefit us getting into the kingdom. Walla Walla, Russia, and all the family that come in. First and foremost, before we get started, I want to say all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach Yahushai. That's all praises to the Father, Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, who the world calls Jesus Christ, our Messiah, our kinsman redeemer, specific to us. So you might have read the title of this live, and it's Be No More tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine, because I'm seeing a lot of people coming with different doctrines, and it's important that in the last days we understand that there's going to be a split. The Most High is going to separate the wheat from the tares. He's going to separate the righteous from the unrighteous. He's going to separate the just from the unjust. And our job is to position ourselves in the place where he says, come up, my good and faithful servant. Come out from amongst the wicked. That's where we need to position ourselves. So I'm going to start with one scripture. If you can grab me Matthew chapter 7, and we're going to read from verse 21. Because it's very important where we are. A lot of people are coming out, especially if you watch the news, the new films that are coming out. There's all spiritual messages in these films. There's that new show that they've got on Netflix called Messiah. And a lot of the things they're showing you are things they're showing you that they're going to do, things that are going to take place in the last days. So have you got that scripture for me? Read that scripture.
Matthew chapter 7 and verse 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name?
Yeah.
And in thy name have cast out devils?
Yeah.
And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. So that show, what they call, where they're calling him the Messiah, and it's a so-called Middle Eastern looking guy with long hair that favors Cesar Borgia, but the Elamite model or the Ishmaelite version. And this is what they're pushing. And who's to say that in the last days that there's not going to be people coming around saying those same things? Shalom, all the brothers, Akim watching. All these things are going to take place. People are going to be coming up saying, I am the Messiah. And they'll come with illusions. They'll come with magic. They'll come with miracles, so-called miracles. And they're going to say, well, how can you deny that I am the Messiah? So you've got to be wary in those last days, because that's what's going to take place. People are going to come and say, I'm the Messiah. I can do this miracle. I can do that miracle.
Yeah, because 2 Thessalonians 2 and 2 talks about signs and lying wonders. And he uses the word lying wonders, showing you there's going to be things happening that are that look like miracles, but they're lying wonders, so they're not real.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's important to know that there's two sides to what you see, because there's things in the world like illusion and magic. These things actually happen. People can do magic tricks that look real, sleight of hand, and they'll do things that will make you believe. People believe in black magic. There's witches out now, real actual witches, women who are practicing witchcraft. So you got to prepare yourself for these things to come forth, and they're going to be on the rise now, more and more, and they'll be able to openly practice this. It was not even long ago. It was on Good Morning. I think it was Good Morning Britain, or This Morning, and a man who was an open Satanist. He professes to worship the devil, and that's what I mean. So these things are becoming more and more prevalent and in the forefront, so we got to prepare ourselves.
Yeah, let me read this scripture in 2 Thessalonians. So this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and I'm going to read from verse 5. It says, Remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So it was saying that even the evil one was working back then. The evil one was around back then. It began from that point. It began from the beginning of time. This spiritual war didn't just begin now. The mystery of iniquity was already working. The nations are just a physical counterpart of this war that's happening now. That's all it is. Physical. It starts in the spiritual realm and then permeates down into the physical realm. So then it appears in the physical realm. And then it says, verse 8, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Most High shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So the wicked's going to be revealed. But it's been revealed in its time. We know who the wicked is now, because we've woken up now. We know who the wicked are.
Obvious.
And now we're in this situation now. It's already happened. It's already happened. But now we can rectify that problem. The Most High has allowed us now. He's given us redemption. So let's finish it out. And in verse 9, and it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. With all power, all signs and lying wonders. So don't think that the devil cannot fool. Don't think that the devil can't try to pretend to be an angel of light, because that's what the scripture says. The key word there is lying wonders. Lying wonders. Showing you, man, that there's going to be people out there pretending to be the Messiah, pretending to be of the Most High, and they're not of the Most High. And it might seem like a miracle. It might seem like they're healing. It might seem like they're doing all these things. But really, it's just to take you off the track of the Most High. It's really just to take you off. So let's read the last verse here. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So unless you've got the love of the truth within you, then you can easily be deceived by these things that are going to come on the planet, by these things that are going to come. Because even in the Christian church now, in Christian churches, people are pretending to do miracles. People are saying they're being healed. People are saying they're being healed. But if they're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, or not trying to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, the question is what spirit is working with them? That's the question. That's the biggest question you have to ask yourself. So, let me read the last verse here, verse 11. And it says, and for this cause, Yah shall send them strong delusion that they shall believe a lie. So, if you don't have the love of the truth, the Most High will just allow you to be taken by your own thoughts, by your own heart, by what you want to believe. He don't mind. You do what you want to do. He will just allow you to do it. He will allow you to do it. He's told you what he wants you to do, which is to keep his law, statutes, and commandments. That's what he told you to do. And depending on you and yourself, depends on if you make it into the kingdom or not. Because you have to be the one that has the right heart, the right mindset. You're the one that has to have that. And the Most High, when you have that right mindset, he will work with you. Like he worked with Abraham. Because that's why he gave him the promise. Because he had the right mindset and the right heart. And that's how we get saved, through the promise. But we have to become like Abraham and do the things which the Most High said. The Most High has said. And if we do that, then the Most High will see that we have faith. Because that's all faith is. Knowing that the Most High is going to do his will on the earth. And if you're trying to be a part of that and you're trying to do the work that's going to bring that kingdom in, then you're showing that you have faith in the Most High. So it's like,
yeah, and what you said, what you went into, the deceivableness and lying wonders, it's true, because that's what we're going to start seeing more and more and more of. Even just one of the Akim on Facebook, they posted a post this week, and it was about a Muslim man who converted to believing in Torah, in the Bible, and saying that he had a vision, or he was about to die, and he had a vision or a dream of Jesus. And when they asked him to describe Jesus, he described Caesar Borgia. So all of this can be seen. He could have actually had that dream. He could have actually had that vision. But because he hasn't got the truth and the love of the truth, now he's been deceived that he believes that that's Jesus, when that's got zero to do with our Messiah, our kinsman redeemer. And it leads me nicely onto my next scripture, my next precept. grab me 1 Corinthians chapter 3, and we're going to read from verse 19, because there is truth in the world. There is wisdom of this world, but then there's the wisdom of the Most High. Because you have to understand, like, these people might be saying stuff and believe it. They might actually know those things for themselves to be true. Does that mean it's the wisdom of the Most High? Does that mean that that's going to save you believing in what a man tells you? Because they're going to tell you what they call science, which comes from the word scientia, which means to know. When all science pushes is theories, the theory of evolution, the theory of gravity, the Big Bang Theory. All of these are just theories. So they're not really sciences. The real science is the scriptures. The real undefeated is the Bible, because it hasn't told a lie yet. And anything that hasn't took place will come to pass. So read that for me.
1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 19.
Read.
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness.
What?
With God. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God.
So the wisdom of this world, and it might be wisdom of the world, what the world knows, but to the Most High, that so-called wisdom of this world is foolishness. So you have to be able to decipher, split, rightly divide the word of truth, understand whether it's wisdom of God you're learning from someone, or they're teaching you of the wisdom of this world. Because people can look smart, and some people will sound intelligent. They'll sound like scholars. They'll be able to break down all these words that you've never heard before. Ancient words, ancient languages. They might even know these titles of things. So when I grew up in Christianity, all we knew was monotheism, meaning you believe in one God. Polytheism, which you believed in many, but there's many more. Henotheism, and you just have to go into them. Many people will know all this. There'll be astute scholars from a biblical perspective. They might go to school to learn the Bible, but that might be the wisdom of this world. But we want the wisdom of the Most High. So, and the fact is, we're in a time now where we're not in the new covenant yet. We're not in the new what they will say testament, which means we're still teaching each other, which means we're still going to teachers to learn from them. We're still preparing ourselves. But some people are quick to speak, and that's the problem. Me and Ma'akian was speaking the other day, and we were talking about patience, being able to wait on the Most High to give you understanding. Sometimes, before you speak, think before you speak, listen, because you can't learn while you're talking. Sometimes to learn something, you have to sit back and be quiet. And a lot of people are putting out information, doctrines. Every other day I'm seeing a new doctrine on Facebook. I'm seeing people move from Torah and Tanakh and going on to believing in these black power, these black magics, moving from just believing in Messiah to just going to Old Testament only. And it's like every day. And you'll see the same person jump from one belief to another belief to another belief. And the problem is, the reason that's happening is because people are quick to type it. They might learn something now and go rush to type it. But remember, you can't just rush to type anything. You got to be ready to, like the scripture says, study to show yourself approved. You can find that in 2 Timothy. Because if you're not ready to study to show yourself approved, then because people are going to say stuff, and if you just believe it, because I heard something the other day and it sounded so right, it sounded so good. I thought, yeah, I never knew that, but it makes sense. And then when I went to go and research it and study it, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the information that they said. And what I found was different to what they said. So now I know that I'm not going to go and teach that. But if I took that information and went, yeah, let me teach someone else that, I could be in jeopardy, because the scripture says, if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the pit. So you got to be careful what we're teaching people, especially on Facebook, especially if you're on YouTube, especially if you're going out on the streets, because everyone you speak to, remember, you're reaching hundreds of people. You might be reaching thousands of people. And if you're saying something that's wrong because you didn't study to show yourself approved, then you are the shepherd who led thousands of people into a pit, and the Most High is going to require that of you. So grab me Matthew chapter 12 and verse 36. Just to give you a precept. And the reason I'm saying get these precepts is because we find out who wisdom dwells with in the scripture, how people learn. And you'll find that in Isaiah 28:9. The people who are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast, the people who are learning meat or harder understanding or more spiritual understanding are those who learn and teach precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little. So that's why we're jumping from precept to precept. We're not going to stick on one and tell you that's how you get an understanding. The scripture says, in the mouth of 2 or 3 prophets, a matter is established. So when you can find it in more than one place, then you know for a surety that's established, that's real, that's true. So grab that precept.
Matthew chapter 12 and verse 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
So the scripture says every word that you shall speak, that you'll have to give an account for on the day of judgment. So if you're going on the internet, if you're going out on the streets or you're going on YouTube preaching, but you're not watching what you're saying and you're just speaking, or you might have just learned it, but you haven't gone to fact check it. You haven't gone to see whether the article's real. Because a lot of Israelites hear articles, oh, black Hebrew Israelite murders so-and-so, and go and rush to take the article, put it on Facebook and say, I can't believe it. I can't believe our people would do this. And the problem is you haven't gone to check the source material. Is this a reliable source? Are these people doing this to create a black flag, a red flag, to stop Israel growing or and waking up? But that's what I'm saying. It's about being ready to check everything, leave no stone unturned, study day in and day out, working out your salvation daily. Because they're going to come with these false flags. They're going to come with them more and more and more and more. And they're going to demonize you because you call yourself an Israelite. You say you're the biblical Israelite. So it's about taking the information and dividing it from the truth and dividing it from the false. Dividing the wisdom of this world from the wisdom of Yahweh. From the wisdom of our Elohim, our God. And that's what we need to be doing. And the importance is knowing what type of people are going to be giving you this information. Because you remember, the scripture says, prove a friend. The scripture says, don't just take everyone's word for everything. You got to know who they are. It says, many people in that day shall come saying, Lord, Lord. Believe not every spirit, but try the spirit. So that's why it's important to go through that. So grab me James chapter 3 and verse 17, because this is a good way to understand the type of people you're getting wisdom from. Choose wisely who your teachers are, because the Most High can use children to teach. A lot of people think they have the complete understanding. Remember, Israel, we've been scattered to the 4 corners. So just because you look at someone and think, oh, they can't teach you nothing, that's not true. A child can come up to you and the Most High can put words in their mouth to teach you something. Someone you look at and go, they might look a bit scruffy, they can come up to you and teach you something about the Most High. So it's about looking for where the wisdom's coming from and matching it with scripture. Is it the wisdom of this world? Is it the wisdom of the Most High? So read that. This is James chapter 3 and verse 17.
James chapter 3 and verse 17.
Read.
But the wisdom that is from above is first pure.
So any word that wisdom you're getting from someone, you know that it's from that. You'll know that it's from above. You'll know it's wisdom of God. If what is going to be first pure, then peaceable. So anyone who's giving you the correct wisdom, the wisdom from the Most High, is going to be peaceable. Read on.
Gentle and easy to be entreated.
Now all of these are words that are synonymous. The person who's teaching you should be someone who, if they say something to you, you can go up to them and say, well, I didn't really understand it. And that's how we've got to be. If we're going to give people understanding, doctrine, wisdom, you can't give them understanding, then run away and not explain it. You got to give them the understanding and then allow them to understand where you got the information from, how they learn the information, how they can go and find the information. If they need to teach it, what sources can they use to say, oh, we're not just making this up. You got to be easily entreated. If you're someone who's giving out doctrine and then people are like, well, this guy's a bit angry all the time, I can't really go and ask him what to do here. then you're not really easily entreatable. You're not gentle. You're not peaceable. You're just going to cause arguments, contentions. And the thing is, the problem with contentions and debates and getting all, and I understand it's just passion, but let's see what the scripture says about it. Grab me Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 10. Because we need to see what the scripture says about contention, always striving, having arguments, giving out doctrine, and then if someone doesn't agree with your doctrine, then you're wicked. But we can't be like this.
Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 10. Only by pride cometh contention.
Yeah.
But with the well advised is wisdom.
So for the well advised is wisdom. The only time that you'll find contentions and arguments and people going back and forth over doctrines is going to be with pride, because this person's prideful that they're right and the next person's prideful that they're right, when the only person with the full understanding and truth is the Most High Yahweh. So rather than big each other up and help each other in the things we agree on, like faith in the law and that the law is just and true, and our faith in Messiah, rather than big each other up in that, you want to argue about the virgin birth. You want to argue about whether it's lawful or not to eat chicken. And that's where the contentions come in. We can't be like that. We have to teach, but give the information, give the sources, and then work together on the things that we agree on, because we're a nation. It says, come together, O ye nation, not desired. Not divide yourselves based on doctrine. The spirit of unity. And if you haven't seen our podcast on our YouTube, Israelite Apostolic Heritage, go and check those podcasts out, because the spirit of unity, the unity of the faith is important. And I know a lot of people are getting segregated and divided in our community, our Israelite people. And it's sad to see. I love to see when we come together and how much we can achieve. And my brother, my Akim, posted another post on Facebook about unity, and that's how we need to be, because if we work together, we're going to be able to move mountains. We're going to be able to do that. And we'll be able to do that with a mustard seed of faith. If you have a little faith that the person you're working with or you're alongside your brother are doing the right thing, then we can move mountains. We'll move mountains together. So we just got the works or the characteristics of someone who's teaching wisdom of the Most High. That's from above. So now grab me Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 12. Like I said, it's only going to be short. We're going to find out more about this wisdom of the Most High, the real understanding. And like I said, everyone doesn't know everything, but that's why it's important to be among each other. I was speaking the past Sunday gone about the individualites, or people who believe that it's not good to congregate, or they're scared to join a camp, or they don't believe they want to join a camp. So all they're doing is learning from YouTube videos or by themselves from the internet on books. And all of that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you're going off, then who's there to correct you? I've got my brother here. If he sees me in sin and sees me erring, he's going to tap me on the shoulder and say, look, you're going off. This is what the scripture says. But if you've got no one there to tell you that, then you're in a worse off position. So unity is very important. Being around your brethren is extremely important, especially in these last days, because of things that are coming. If World War III kicks off, if these things that are written in scripture come to pass, when they come to pass, not if, then if you haven't got anyone by you or good people around you, you might find it hard. You might not know where to go, what to do. But when you're around like-minded people, you can make counsel and say, look, we know this might happen, but I have this idea. And someone else might say, I like your idea, but this idea is better. Let's go here. And in counsel among your brethren, you're surely going to get wisdom and understanding, because the scripture says, when there's 2 or 3 gathered in my name, he's in the midst. So that's where you're going to get the correct, true understanding from the Most High, when he's in the midst of you, when there's 2 or 3 gathered and trying to keep the law, statutes, and commandments as is written. So read that scripture for me, Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes chapter
7
and
verse 12.
For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
So the scripture says that having wisdom is a defense for you. It's going to defend you against the evil spirit. It's going to defend you against lie, salakia. It's going to defend against enemies because you're wise. If you know an enemy's going to attack and you've got the wisdom that the enemy's going to attack, you're going to either move somewhere else or prepare yourself with weapons that can win the battle. And also it says money is a defense because in this life and time period we're in now, we can't live without it. The scripture says count the cost before you do something so you're not caught out, so you can feed yourself, feed your family, so you can pay for where you're staying, so you're not dying, you're not struggling, because the Most High doesn't expect you to struggle. He provides exactly what you need. Not always what you want, but he always provides what you need. And the beauty he's saying here, he's saying, yes, wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. He's saying, but the great thing, the excellent thing about wisdom and knowledge is that by having those, you get life. The scripture says, therefore, I set before you this day life and death. Therefore, choose life. The life is the truth, the wisdom of the Most High. The life is the gospel of the kingdom. The life is keeping the faith of Messiah and keeping the law. That's what that is. That's what the life is. That's wisdom, real wisdom, wisdom of God, not wisdom of this world. So that's a defense to you. So get your defense up. Get your money so you can come up to Zion and make pilgrimage. Wabati walama. And get your wisdom up, most importantly, because by getting your wisdom up, that's how you're gonna get life. That's how you're gonna reach the kingdom of heaven, which everyone wants. And I've got to say this as well: the kingdom of heaven doesn't come by doing nothing. You can't sit at home all week and then look in your bank account and see if you've got paid. There's work to be done, as well as understanding that you're an Israelite and doing all that. You need to be pushing this gospel of the kingdom, telling people Zion has been revealed, giving people the understanding of who they are, their culture, and waking up the lost tribes of Israel, waking up Jacob, because the scripture makes it clear that that's a small thing, that's a light thing for you to do. So jump to verse 16 in Ecclesiastes chapter 7.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 16. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? So with all you're getting, with the wisdom you're getting, get understanding. That's important. Don't start learning all the wisdom of this world. I'm not going to say don't learn of the wisdom of the world, because the wisdom of the world can help you. If you're learning from someone how to get your finances up, that's something important to learn, because then once you've got your finances up, you can come and help build Zion. You can make pilgrimage. You can look after your family so your family's a bit more comfortable. If you wanted another wife, if you believe in polygamy, you'll have money to support more than one wife. These things are going to benefit. That's wisdom of the world, though. All that finance stuff is. But more importantly, learn the wisdom of the Most High, because knowing a lot about the world and being overwise in those things isn't going to get you the kingdom. What does it say again? It says, neither make thyself overwise. What? Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself overwise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself?
Because if you believe that by learning all the knowledge of this world, knowing all the science, all the maths isn't going to save your soul, there's no way to be overwise in the things of the Most High. If you're learning the wisdom of the Most High and actually got your head in the scriptures and you're really, honestly, sincerely searching for the truth, you can't be overwise in the spiritual things. Because the more you know about the Most High, what he likes, what he dislikes, how to please him to become his friend, then that's how you're going to enter the kingdom. You're going to be like Abraham. You're going to be like the Davids. That's what you need to be wise in, the wisdom of God, not in the wisdom of men. Not swayed to and fro because you heard someone on Facebook say, well, they don't believe this person was an Israelite. And then giving you one scripture, or saying, going into debates. Because a lot of people sound smart, and it's easy to sound smart now, especially with the internet, being able to Google. But actually understanding what people are teaching or reciting or just repeating what someone's told you is two totally different things. So don't be that person. And I'm going to finish off because I did say it's only a short one, but it's all about this being able to divide from what's right, what's wrong, dividing what's the wisdom of this world and the wisdom of God. Because people have said things in the past, like I said, and I'm going to say it again, and it sounded good, it sounded nice. But if I just take what they say and go and teach other people, I'm becoming a wicked shepherd. I'm leading people into hell, and I won't do that. I will not be the person. I will not go to hell because someone told me something that's wrong. So remember, like I said, rightly divide the word of truth. Study to show yourself approved. Don't believe everyone and everything. Prove your friends. Pick your teachers wisely. So we're going to finish off with this. I mentioned this scripture earlier, 1 John chapter 4 and 1.
1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world.
So in these last days now, many false prophets are going to come. Everyone wants to be a teacher. Everyone wants to pick up the word and teach someone. And I'm not saying it's wrong. It should be in your spirit, especially as an Israelite man over a certain age. You should want to wake your brother up because it's a light thing. It's not hard. You've got legs. The Most High blessed you with those. You've got a mouth. The Most High blessed you with that. So you should want to do that. However, it's a touchy thing in that if you say the wrong thing or if you're teaching without studying to show yourself approved, then you can send someone to the place where none of us want to go. So with that, I want to shout out all the Akim, all my brothers, even my sisters, Aqua, pushing this truth wholeheartedly and as it is written. If the men are out there on the street corners, even if you're on YouTube teaching the word of the Most High, may the Most High bless you and send a double portion of his blessed reward on you, that he may uplift you and exalt you. To my Aqua, I pray and bless that he blesses you in your teaching of the children, because it's so important that we teach the children from young, because the scripture says if we do that, then when they grow up, they won't depart from the truth. And that's a job that we need. Even though we're out there teaching on the street corners, if our children are at home getting taught folly and foolishness, then we're going to end up in the same position, because when they grow up, they're going to leave understanding their nationality and that they're an Israelite and they've got a job, and then they're going to move to other religions. Not other religions, go to religions, because this isn't a religion. They're going to go to Islam, they're going to go to Christianity. They're going to want to do all the folly that they see in their school system, their miseducation system. So with that, I'd like to shout out everyone who's tuned in. If you watch this, if you've seen it from the start to beginning, whether you're tuning in halfway through, I pray the Most High blesses you and grants you peace, heals anyone that is sick, binds you up, restores you. I pray that you learned something. If you liked it, make sure you like the video, share the video on any platforms so that other people can hear what's going out. It's a time to prepare ourselves, not to do things as we feel and want, but to do it as the scripture says. And with that, I like to say Shalom and say all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Shalom, Walla Walla.
Walla Walla.
Amen.